But anyways, kickoff. We are going to start with Matt Barnes goes off on NBA and NFL owners. Now, if you haven't had a chance to see this interview, it was posted on Bleacher Report. Matt Barnes was actually had an interview with Taylor Rooks of Bleacher Report. I'll actually leave a link in the description below. But let me go ahead and get into the interview. So she essentially asked Matt Barnes, how many owners in the NBA have that Donald Sterling mentality. And before I get into Matt Barnes' answer, for those of you that don't know, Donald Sterling is the former NBA owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. He was being secretly recorded by V. Stiviano, which was his mistress, essentially his girlfriend, because he was a married man. She was secretly recording him and essentially baiting him into kind of going off on this, rant. She wasn't baiting him to be racist. At least I don't think so. But she wasn't trying to. How do I say this? She was not at fault for him. How he responded to how she was acting. That's just his mentality. That's his thought process. But V. Stiviano was recording him and kind of baiting him to kind of talk about his bias or his racist thought process, and then eventually made it public to kind of expose him. So for those of you that don't know that situation, including the interviews with CNN, those were classic. Donald Sterling and V. Stiviano. For those of you that haven't seen those are hilarious. So make sure you guys check that out. But Donald Sterling was essentially had that slave owners mentality. Hey, I pay these guys, I pay them well. They have clothes on their back. They got a place to sleep in. I'm doing what I can to help them. He was upset with V. Stiviano for speaking with Magic Johnson, I believe, at the time. He made it very clear that he didn't want her to be around people that were black, specifically Magic Johnson. He had a bone to pick with Magic Johnson, and that was exposed in the audio. If I could find it, I'll leave that in the description below as well. But anyways, Matt Barnes. So going back, Taylor Rooks from Bleacher Report during the interview basically asked him how many owners in the NBA have that Donald Sterling mentality, slave owner mentality. So Matt Barnes, and I'll read this quote for quote, he said a lot. And not only in the NBA, but in the NFL for sure. So he's not only talking about just NBA now. Now he drug in the NFL, and he kind of went through it and said, hey, but there's that good old boy group of owners that were oil and real estate guys, guys that are in their 70s and 60s, 70s and up. And that's just how, they were raised and brought up. So Matt Barnes had no issue of exposing this. I mean, we know this. I mean, a lot of the owners, have not been vocal when it comes to, social issues and kind of standing up. The NBA did well as far as how they handled the Donald Sterling situation, but that is because it was public. Donald Sterling, there were accusations and complaints about him while he was in ownership about, kind of his thought process and how he was treating the players, and, players were very uncomfortable around him. But it wasn't until the audio was leaked and everything was up front to where the NBA was forced to act. And Adam Silver did a great job. I think that was as soon as he jumped into the commissioner role in the NBA, but it wasn't proactive. It was definitely reactive. And, that line's a tough line to cross. Going back to the Donald Sterling thing, he was talking to someone in confidence. He was being recorded secretly. Again, talking to someone that he had believed he had relations with, that he was a friend with. And that person took took advantage of the situation, recorded it, and kind of made it public. So while it's a sleazy thing to do for V. Stiviano, it was still one of those things where, now it's out in the open. The NBA must address it, and everybody must address it now that it's public. Not to say that how the information became public was wrong, but still, now that it's out, we got to at least react to it how we see fit with the information that's available. But he wasn't done there. He said, in particular, if you look at it, how many owners have come out to speak about us, like on the behalf of us? So how many owners came out, again, like I said earlier, during the George Floyd incident or the murder, and any of these other incidents? Again, Colin Kaepernick took a knee and was very specific with, hey, I want to make sure that we bring awareness to police brutality and inequality in the community when it comes to law enforcement and blacks. But again, that narrative was spun by the media, spun by Donald Trump. It was spun by the owners, specifically Jerry Jones, to have it as, hey, he's just respecting the flag. They didn't address why he was actually, taking a knee, but he did take a knee, and none of the owners spoke up on his behalf. He was essentially blackballed, whiteballed from the NFL, and no owner stood up for him. And no NBA owners stand up for these things. I think the players are starting to realize this, and in Matt Barnes' case, he's retired, so he has nothing to lose. He's willing to speak the truth. He's not getting a paycheck from these owners anymore. So now he's willing to come out and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. Like, we understand these things. And for those of you that are interested in watching this full interview, it's about 35 minutes. I'll leave a link of that in the description below as well. Again, Taylor Rooks did a great job in the interview with Matt Barnes, but Matt Barnes calling it how it is. And that's all we can ask for. So Matt Barnes, big shout out to him. Keep spitting the truth. And we need to bring awareness to these things. Why are owners not coming forward and showing support to the black community or showing support to diverse communities? It's almost one of those things where, yes, we understand that you're a business owner and you have to do what's best for business. But at the same time, most of your employees, quote unquote, these self-employed people that work under you, are black. They're diverse. So it's in your best interest to ensure that you have their back as well, while they are making money for you in the league that they're in, the association. So that is an interesting one. Let me know what you think about this situation, what Matt Barnes said in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube. But again, big shout out to Matt Barnes for keeping it G, keeping it a buck, as we like to call. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more fire sports takes. And for those of you on the go, make sure you subscribe to our full show, which airs every Thursday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and a bunch more. Until then, I'm chucking it up, and I'll see you guys next time.